Hey everybody, this is Joe again. My last video I was going to tell you about the bolts, installing your components through these Suncast sheds. Okay, first of all, you got to understand Suncast sheds are plastic, and usually all the hardware we install, they are metal. Okay. So what does that mean? That means that if you over tighten any of these bolts, you're going to crush the plastic. As you can see a little bit, you can't really get a full tightening of these bolts because it's just going to keep going and going and going until the plastic is completely crushed. So the way to remedy that is, if somebody has a good idea, and if you could plan out your build better and know where all the cuts are going to be, somehow, some way, you have to install like spacers between inside the cavity of the sun shed. That way, when you tighten these bolts, it does not crush the plastic. The spacer you have in between is there, and then you could put a nice good torque on these nuts and bolts. I thought it'd be a good idea to use these lock washers, as you can see, but there's just not enough resistance in the plastic for me to torque down. I mean, they're tight enough. They're tight enough, and this fan ain't going nowhere. This vent ain't going nowhere. These 2-inch bolts, you could probably get away with 1.5 inches, because I went and originally got an 1-inch bolt and that was not long enough, so I think 1.5 inches would be better than 2 inches. So yeah, in my last video I told you I was going to explain more about these bolts, but I forgot to. So this is what I'm telling you, so you guys can think ahead, plan ahead, and figure out a way how you could get a spacer in these cavities without them falling down in the cavity. You know, maybe you can like make the cutout, go back inside with a spacer or several washers to fill up the gap inside the sunshed walls, the Suncast walls, and glue them in place or something, so that way when you go and install these components, you could just pass your bolt through the hole on this side, through whatever type spacer system you got, and then through the back end, and then tighten it down, and you won't actually crush the plastic. And the other thing too, I told you I'm going to use Dynamat for all the walls. Now, I foresee problems trying to stick this stuff on after the fact. So once again, what you guys can do is maybe plan out and cut the holes first before assembling the shed. I wish I had did that. It would have taken a lot more time to like try and measure out where all the cuts are gonna be, like here for your cord, here for the vent, here for the fan. And then I think it would be a lot easier to just have all of these parts up on a bench, laying down on a bench, all these walls, and then you could properly install that Dynaliner onto it. Because doing it vertically here out in the open, who knows what problems I'm going to run into, and will the stuff even stick? I know I got to clean it real well, wipe it down with alcohol, get all the dirt and grease off so it will stick. I got a roller to roll the Dynaliner, but you know, you see you have all these indentations everywhere, so where those indentations are, I don't think you're going to get a good contact of the Dynaliner. But like I said, if all of these walls were laying flat on your workbench, and then you could get it all nice, you know. But that requires you to plan out all your cuts first. Do your cuts on the bench, and then clean up all the panels, install the Dynaliner, then assemble your shed, then connect all of the parts that you need to install the vent, all the little opening, all of the pass-throughs, your fan, and so on and so forth. Especially this top part here, I'm planning on putting Dynaliner, same thing you would use in your car hood. But that's going to be a challenge. Yeah, I know you could say, okay, disassemble it and go ahead and pull it on the bench and do it. But then again, you might not want to do that, because me being a mechanic, I know that these bolts, I mean these screws here holding my brackets to the plastic, once I unscrew these, you know, those once I unscrew these, those holes are never going to be the same. Trying to reinstall it, these holes are probably going to be all blown out, and it's not going to grip anymore, because this is, like I said, cheap plastic. So I don't want to take that risk. I already have these hand started and hand torqued, and they're very tight right now. If I go and loosen them, they'll probably never be the same again. So that's why I say, you know, do it on the bench before you do the assembly. But if I'm having trouble installing all of these liners and Dynamats, then I might have to do that. We'll see. So when I find time to do that, I will. But right now, I do not. All right, just wanted to give you a heads up on this flimsy plastic on these bolts. Just got to figure out a way to put a spacer inside the hollow walls. That way the plastic does not get crushed. Okay, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.